What is up, bros and broettes? I am Ink Slasher. Today we have an amazing episode of Versus, one of the closest ones we have yet, and more importantly, one of the best ones we have yet, because we are looking at two guns that I consider to be some of the best in Black Ops 3. Today we are going to be looking at the Kuda SMG, which is one that I've put on the top of my top 5 list many times throughout this game, versus the Pharo, one of the ones that the Call of Duty pros use very frequently in competitive play. So this is going to be an extremely close episode, and just a bit of a spoiler, but not too much. Going into this, I thought one weapon was going to win. By the end of this, I was completely wrong. So right now, before the video starts, go ahead and write in the comment section below, be like, hey, this is before the video starts, I think, boom, this weapon is gonna win. I'm really curious what you guys think, because it wasn't what I thought. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as always, what Versus is, it's a series where, generally speaking, we compare two weapons or things in Call of Duty in general to make you a better Call of Duty player. Now, one of the most important stats when it comes to weapons in any Call of Duty game is the damage. So that's how we always start. So this time, the damage profile are as follows. So as far as the Kuda goes, it looks like this: 35 damage up close, 30 at mid-range, 23 at mid to long range, and 19 at extreme long range. For the Pharo, we've got 35 at short range, 30 at mid-range, 23 at mid to long range, and 19 at extreme long range. That is right, these two weapons have the exact same damage profile. The difference is when it comes to range, and the range is actually a little bit confusing too. So up close, that 3 bullet kill range is better by 50 in-game units for the Pharo, which works out to be about 1 meter in-game. But every other range is much better for the Kuda, by like 5 meters. Another one is by like 10 meters. It's a very big difference between the other ranges, so therefore you are going to be getting less bullets to kill for the Kuda at much more ranges, therefore making it have a better damage profile in turn, therefore getting +1 point. So just in case you found that confusing, to summarize that, the damage profiles are the exact same. The Pharo kills at 3 bullets 1 meter further, the Kuda kills at 4 bullets 5 meters further, and the Kuda kills at 5 bullets for 10 meters further. So much longer ranges for the Kuda, except for that 3 bullet kill range, which is just minuscule at 1 meter. So therefore, the Kuda has the better damage profile because all of its ranges are much better. Therefore, that's why it got that point. So the next thing we always look at is the fire rate. And what we find with fire rate, generally speaking, when one weapon has a better damage profile, so in this case the Kuda, the other one has a better fire rate. This is no exception whatsoever. The Kuda's fire rate is 722 RPM, whereas the Pharo has a 900 RPM fire rate. And I know you're thinking, whoa, that's a huge difference, but you have to remember the Pharo has burst delay. It has a 100 millisecond burst delay in between every 3 bullets, but with the Pharo, you can hold down the trigger, which means you don't have to time it perfectly, which means it'll be exactly 900 RPM, 100 milliseconds, 900 RPM, 100 milliseconds, over and over again, but it does have a better fire rate, and you can 100% feel that when using this weapon in game. So for that, it gets +1 point and ties it up. So if you're used to watching this series on my channel, you're used to seeing time to kill be at the very end of the video. In this case, it's not, because on these two weapons, the time to kill is very confusing to an extreme extent. Also, on these two weapons, they have some of the best time to kills in the entire game, so it's super important that we talk about it right after the stats it's based off of: damage profile and rate of fire. So with these two things in mind, let's talk about which weapon has the better time to kill. So it's this simple: the Pharo has a better time to kill, except for between two ranges, between 19 and 25 meters and 38 and 45 meters. The Kuda has a better time to kill, only between those two ranges, because the reason why this works out: the Pharo has a faster rate of fire, the Kuda has better ranges. Between those two ranges, the Kuda has a better bullets to kill, and therefore only between those ranges has a faster time to kill, because at the rest of the ranges, the bullets to kill is the exact same, and the Pharo has the faster fire rate. I hope I explained that well. I know it's super confusing, but just remember this: 19 and 25 meters, Kuda has a faster time to kill, and between 38 and 45 meters, the Kuda has a faster time to kill. everywhere else, the Pharo has a faster time to kill. Therefore, what does this mean? Since the Pharo has a faster time to kill at every other range on the map, which is much more ranges, the Pharo gets +1 point. Taking the lead. What is the next thing we can look at? Well, one of the things that's actually different on these weapons is their magazine size. Now, magazine size is obviously very important on an SMG because generally speaking, the magazine size is small on an SMG. In this game, they're really not that small, to be honest with you. So the Kuda has a 30-round magazine size, whereas the Pharo has a 40-round magazine size. What does this mean? Magazine size is better for the Pharo, therefore it gets +1 point. So now the Pharo is actually out to a pretty commanding lead. Now, if we look at SMGs in general, they have a lot of stats that are very similar throughout the weapon class. One of these is hip spread. These two weapons have the exact same hip spread. Another one of these stats, aim down sights times. Now, this one depends on what stat chart you look at, but what I see more often than not is that both of these have the exact same aim down sights time at 0.25 seconds. So, therefore, same aim down sights time. Another thing you can look at is actually view kick. And now these weapons have different view kick, but they both have very low view kick. A lot of people say the Pharo has better view kick just because of the way it bounces, but that is counteracted because the Kuda has a faster center speed. What is center speed? It means that after the recoil happens, the reticle moves back to the middle of the screen a little bit faster than the Pharo, therefore counteracting that. I'm not going to give out any points for this. They both have a very manageable recoil, and there's just no reason to give out a point for that because they're both very good in that situation. Now, another thing that's very similar in weapon classes is, generally speaking, reload speed. Not for these two weapons, however. The Kuda has a 1.8 second reload speed when there is bullets still in the magazine, 2.3 seconds when the magazine is empty, whereas the Pharo reloads in 2.1 seconds when there's still bullets in the magazine, and 2.7 seconds when the clip is completely empty. What does this mean? In both situations, whether your clip is full or there's still bullets in it, or it's empty, you reload slower with the Pharo, therefore giving the Kuda +1 point and bringing it to a 1 point game. So guess what? That's it. There's no more stats for me to give out, therefore the Pharo is the winner this week, and I couldn't believe this because I think the Kuda is, generally speaking, a better weapon, even though I prefer the Pharo. I'll explain all of this in a second, and it will all make sense. Now, why did the Pharo win? The Pharo won because the time to kill is very good, and all the other stats are very comparable. Even the damage profile, which is exactly the same, and only the range is different. Remember that. Now, why do I say the Kuda is better in so many videos? Here is why. The Kuda is a more consistent weapon. The ranges where the Kuda has a faster time to kill are the ranges you're in a lot of the time when you get into gunfights. On top of that, the Kuda is a fully automatic weapon, whereas the Pharo is a burst fire weapon. If you are at all inaccurate with the Pharo, that 100 millisecond burst delay turns into a very big deal, causing you to lose a lot of gunfights. If you're the kind of person like a Call of Duty pro, the people who really boost up and talk about the Pharo as the best weapon in the game, or one of the best weapons in the game so often, and you have the aim of a Call of Duty pro, the Pharo is a very good weapon because it drops people in so few shots with an extremely fast fire rate that then it is the best case scenario. However, when you don't have to worry about missing bullets, when you already have good accuracy, and when you have the fastest time to kill in class at these ranges between 19 and 25 meters and 38 and 45 meters, then that may be a better choice of a weapon. However, the stats has spoken, the Pharo is the better weapon, mainly because of that faster fire rate, a really good damage profile. The only thing is that consistency issue with it being a burst action weapon, and if you miss bullets, you're not going to do well with it. That's simple, that's straightforward, that's how the stats have spoken. And that's the verdict, guys. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Were you right with your hypothesis? What did you think was going to happen? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. But like I said, the stats have spoken. So if you enjoyed the video, it would be super greatly appreciated if you could leave a like rating. It really does help out the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week except for Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, peace out.
Ready, set, go.